Remaining living hostages in Gaza were returned to Israel earlier today after 2 years of war. Hamas released the names of 4 deceased hostages whose bodies it says will be handed over. All 250 Palestinian prisoners and more than 1,700 detainees from Gaza held by Israel without charge since the Hamas-led attacks on October 7, 2023 have now been released. So emotional scenes unfolded as the freed hostages reunited with their families in hospitals across Israel and as Palestinian prisoners met with their relatives in the West Bank and arrived in buses to large crowds in Gaza. This really fills my heart in all levels that all of these hostages are now back with their families after 2 years of a living hell, because they deserve to be back with their families and they deserve to be happy. And I watched those videos where all of these hostages were finally reunited and they were crying and they were hugging their families and their loved ones, and it really gave me so much emotion, because I believe that at the end of the day, these people finally are seeing the light in all levels. And also these people are, finally, in that situation where they no longer have to be going through such horrible situations where they are basically away and they are kidnapped and they are, basically not in a free place at all. Okay. And also, I believe that with all of this going on, this comes to show that finally there was light outside of the tunnel, and that basically it was showing that in life there is a light outside of the tunnel, and that there is a flower and a beautiful rose and a beautiful peach after all of the horrendous things that happen in life. Okay, so with all of that being said, I think that now is the time where we're finally getting into peace here with our world. I mean, we are not getting into full peace, unfortunately, because unfortunately, in the daily lives, unfortunately, bad things happen in this crazy world that we live in. But with what just happened with these hostages reuniting with their loved ones, it is already coming to show that we are already getting into some peace here after all of the destruction that we have gone through with our world, and that we are finally getting somewhere, especially with justice. And let's also remember that now that we are getting into some peace here, I'm hoping for the love of God that, nothing like this gets to happen ever again, where there are a bunch of people held in hostages and then, we get a bunch of destruction and a bunch of violence and a bunch of so forth and this and that in the coming years and the coming months. Because I mean,